Okay, let's be frank. How does it feel to pay more to check in your huge backpack than the airplane ticket itself? Only to realize back home that you didn't use a third of the stuff you packed. It sucks, isn't it? It makes you want to give up traveling because it is so expensive. What if I tell you traveling is easy? In this video, I will share you the 16 most essential stuff. Yes, some might be a little bit weird and a little bit like surprising, and 3 additional advice what not to take with you at the end of the video. So feel free to stay with me if this is something interests you. By the way, my name is Zsuzsa. This is the Hello Emma channel. Let's dive in. When I started to travel, I always had a huge anxiety that, oh my god, what's then if I need this or this or this or this? And I really took lots of unnecessary stuff with me. And the game changer was when I realized that wherever I go, people are living there, people with the same need as mine. So at the end of the day, I can find food, I can find clothing, I can find everything I need. So just because I'm a little bit anxious, I don't need to carry the whole house with me. Simply just have the most essentials and travel light and just chill. My experiences I will share with you in this video are based on traveling in Guatemala, Costa Rica, India, in Mexico. So if you, for example, are planning a long weekend trip to Paris, might this advice doesn't apply you, but it still probably is a good idea because I will give you general ideas and maybe you will have some gems and insight from this video. This list is far from an exhausting list because everything is changing. I'm still on the road, so if you like the idea of this video or you find it useful, feel free to subscribe to be informed if I create another one in the near future. First, let's talk about clothes. When I go to a place, I really try to kind of blend in, not to look like a tourist, from safety reasons as well, plus is much more comfortable. When I travel, I try to do at least clothing-wise, melt into the environment where I am and looks as a tourist as little as it is possible, which means I'm not really going into Decathlon or that kind of shops to buy all of the stuff which I hope will make my life more comfortable. I always think about local people. If they are okay walking in flip-flops, for example, why I cannot do the same? Or if I'm walking at home in flip-flops, why cannot I do the same in another country? So for me, it really just doesn't make sense to buy, for example, a walking sandal when I go to another country. For what? Actually, I was walking through whole India in one flip-flop, and I was walking through the jungle in the night in Guatemala because my flip-flop was broken, and I'm still here. Normally, I have enough clothes for 2 or 3 days. As long as I'm wearing one set of clothes, I can wash the other set, what was on me yesterday or on the previous day, and it has time to dry, or I can buy clothes. Because the thing is, if you go to another country, you can buy clothes very, very cheap. Second, you can buy clothes which are made from the material which is appropriate for the environment. You can find bazaars, you can find second-hand shops everywhere, so the clothes can be super, super, super cheap. The queen is Guatemala, as they have a clothes chain called Mega Paca, and I really swear the prices can be so freaking cheap that you just dreaming about it, and the clothes can be just amazing. So I recommend it a lot, but be careful because last time when I was there, I left with a huge bag of clothes, and at the end of the day I found myself buying another luggage to come to Mexico. So be careful because it's a super dangerous place. Normally I have one warmer piece, a jumper or something, just in case. For me personally, most of the time the air conditioning on the bus and on the airplane is a little bit too cold, and on the bus they will definitely won't provide you a blanket or something. On the airplane it could happen, so it's fine, but on the bus, for example, it's always very useful to have something to wrap around me. The main piece, what I always take with me, is a scarf, a huge scarf. Because you can use it against water, you can use it against wind, you can always use it against sun, you can use it against anything. And well, actually we have to face the fact that in some countries you have to dress moderately, so you cannot show your shoulder, for example. And it's already happened with me that I was invited to visit a little pond with the girls, and they said, okay, let's go and swim. And I thought, swim? I don't have swimming clothes. So I was wearing this as my swimming clothes. I was just wrapping around me, and I use it as a swimming clothes. I can use it as a skirt. I can use it as a scarf, as it is, mainly when it is cold or if I have sensitive throat. So if it's a little bit colder, I just put it around, and honestly, for me, it helps to heal. But I can use it as a bag. If you just don't, you go to the market, for example, and they don't have bags or anything, you just put all of your stuff into the scarf, grab the 4 corners, and that's it. And you have your little bag. Or you can use it as a picnic blanket, you can use it as a yoga mat. I tried all of this, and honestly, if I don't have my scarf, I feel a little bit panicky because I know I can use it in so many ways. So yeah, this is the major and most important thing. And if you don't want to take your jumper, that's fine. Have 2 scarves and it's already warmer, so it's perfectly fine. The second most important thing is toilet paper. My friends are always laughing on me. I'm basically the queen of toilet paper. They know if we go anywhere, you can ask from Zsuzsa because she always have a toilet paper. This is how it is. And it's not just because sometimes the toilets are running out of paper, but sometimes you are going into the nature and you can use the leaves, of course, but I prepared the paper, and of course after you need to dig a little hole and bury your paper, so we kind of not allowing the papers just floating all around in the nature, and it looks like at the end that like we are in the windy season and there was a big snow because everything is white. No, we try to hide it. And of course it can be handy in many cases. If you spill something, you can just wipe it, or if you find a seat which is super dirty, you can clean it. Or it's really useful if you cut your finger, for example, you immediately create a first aid until to find the real equipment to keep your fingers safe and everything blood free. Mainly if you're coming to the parts of the world that I mentioned above, then you will definitely need toilet paper or some paper or something to pick the bugs, because they are just crawling all around, and well, yes, even if you kill them, even not, it's nice to have something to pick them. Though if you are more easygoing and you don't get all of these things that touching them, that's perfectly fine. Then you don't need toilet paper.
Oh, a bug!
Plus, sometimes if you are walking a lot or finishing the day, you cannot always have bathroom wherever you go. So it's very useful if you don't like baby wipes, because for example, I don't really like the baby wipe idea, because I don't know, I just fear that is paper, is plastic, or what is this, and I just fear that I polluting the world. So what I just use a little water, wash my armpits, wash my face, and after just use a little bit of toilet paper and just wipe a little bit and done. And if I already mentioned the water, yes, the most important thing is water. I always carry water with me, and I really have to admit I'm still struggling with the water, and I'm really looking forward the science to figure out how to carry water, that 1 liter water, it doesn't equal 1 kilogram of water, but it equals less, because it's so freaking heavy. The only thing we can do at this point, that at least we choose something which is not so bulky and not so heavy to keep the water in. Plus, if we run out of water, then we can just flatten this thingy out. So honestly, I never bought this soft water bottle, which I think it's called Platypus. But I love the idea, and this is my next investment for the future. I will buy a Platypus because I'm always struggling with water bottles. This is how it is. Of course, the water is very important to keep dehydrated, mainly if you're coming to this part of the world, which is nice and sunny most of the time, so you need to drink lots of water. You need to sometimes wash your hands, as I just mentioned just a second ago, clean up yourself sometimes. That's your only shower what you have, or washing your fruits what you are buying on the market. Yes, I always have water, and guess what? Yes, you are right. I always have food with me. Food, well, don't imagine I take 1 kilogram of bread or whatever. I just have some granola bar or little candies with me. Because, for example, back to the water. I run out of water. What to do? Have a little candy bar and at least I have a little bit of saliva. If there is no food source around, at least I have a little granola bar so I can keep my blood sugar level in the right level. Or if you share the candy, it can kind of break the ice and you can have a little chat that where are you came from, where are you traveling and stuff like this. Plus, honestly, I'm that kind of person who's sometimes getting a little bit like weird, like kind of sick in the car and in the bus. So I really like to have a little candy with me because when I have it in my mouth, I kind of start to feel a little bit better. So that's are the main reasons I have something little in my bag. The next one might be a little bit weird for you or might surprise you, but yes, I have to admit I always have 1 or 2 big black rubbish bags because it's already happened with me that I was walking in the mountains with friends. I had my brand new raincoat with me, which when it was necessary to put on, I wanted to zip up and the zip was broken. I mean, how the zip and the plastic was connected. So basically, I was soaking wet by the end of the walk. And later I thought, okay, let's buy then a proper raincoat. I bought a proper raincoat. And guess what? It's half kilo heavy. So I never ever was wearing it, never took with me. Since 2 years, it's sitting in my room and I never ever touched it. Why I like the rubbish bag. Now, let's have the secret revealed. I like the rubbish bag because first thing is light. Second very important thing is strong. Third reason, because it's plastic, it's keeping the warmth in. So even if you don't have too much clothes with you, your body weight will stay inside of the plastic bag and it helps you to kind of keep warm if it's necessary. But honestly, when it is raining, let's face the fact. The elements are so freaking strong. So if you, for example, walking in a city and the rain catches you, you always try to just find a place where it's not raining and wait a little bit or sit in a cafe or whatever. But if the rain catches you when you are walking somewhere in the mountains or on the fields, even if you have the most amazing raincoat, the water will find little teeny tiny places where it can reach your body. So I think doesn't matter what we try to do, avoid the rain, we will be soaking wet, doesn't matter what. And at the end of the day, it's just water. So luckily we can try. But apart from all of these amazing things that light and strong and etc., rubbish bags are good because at the end of the day, if you don't need to have a raincoat on because it was sunny, you didn't carry too much weight, you can leave behind, you won't be sorry that, oh my god, I paid I don't know how many pounds or dollars for it and it was so expensive and I just don't want to leave behind. You just leave behind and people can collect some rubbish in it or they can use it as a picnic blanket. And one more thing just popped into my mind in this very moment. It can be very useful as an insulation of your big bag. You put it inside of your bag, put all of your stuff in, and then no rain can make your clothes wet. So at least if you are soaking wet, you have dry stuff in your bag, doesn't matter what. And if you're already talking about plastic bags, well, I have to admit something. I am Hungarian, and in Hungary we have a really weird custom that in every Hungarian household you can find one plastic bag full of plastic bags. It sounds like a joke, but actually it is true. And yeah, I follow this custom in Mexico as well.
You are so weird.
And when I travel, I have plenty plastic bags with me. And now I will share the secret with you. Why? I have to say, plastic bags are the most handy things in this universe. You can keep your dirty clothes separated from the clean ones. You can keep your wet clothes separated from the dry ones. If a rain catches you, you just put all of your electric stuff and everything in, and even if you are walking in the rain, not caring about the water, at least your most important things are dry.
Singing in the rain, just singing in
in the rain.
I always been in the situation that I collected lots of rubbish. I was peeling fruits, vegetables in a bus or wherever, and I thought, oh, where to keep this leftover? And I just put them into the plastic bags because, of course, I had a plastic bag. Plus, again, back to the thing I just mentioned before, when I was younger, I was always sick on the bus, so I always been, sorry, but this is how it is, vomiting. Recently, I'm much better, but I still feel this uncertainty that what's then if, and taking one extra plastic bag with me is just 1 extra gram. So yes, I prepare myself for the worst. And the other thing is, astrologically, I am Virgo, which means I love to organize things. So I love to keep my underwear separately in my bag. I like to keep my t-shirt separately, and it makes life much easier because I know approximately where are the stuff, and even if I need something, I don't even need to take out everything from my bag. I simply just reach and grab and I have it. And I know that you can buy all of these beautiful organizer pouches and everything, but most of the time they are not flexible enough, they are not light enough, and they are a little bit bulky. I found the plastic bag super easy because as I have plenty in my household, but this is how it is, I can use them in my big bag as a separator organizer. Plus, don't forget the good side, it will keep everything dry if a rain catches me in the middle of nowhere. Most of the time I have a little knife with me, which is possible to close, so it's not dangerous, because I love fruits and vegetables, and even sometimes you can wash them, but it's not really safe to wash them and eat. So most of the time I just remove the peels, and the peelings I put in a plastic bag. Do you see the underlining structure of my system? And again, cutting things, it always happens. If you have some injury, you need to cut the bandage, for example, or it can just open a tinned food you want to eat for dinner. If your glass is broken, is a perfect screwdriver. If you are in this part of the world I just mentioned, trust me, if you are a clean freak and you don't like your nails dirty, you will need something always to clean your nails. This is how it is. If you are walking in nature, it's always nice to have something to clean up the space, or if you want to make your marshmallow because you have fire pit, then with the knife you can create the most perfect stick to your marshmallow. And the last reason I just mentioned, but luckily I never had to use it, it can be a self-defense tool. I think sometimes just the knowledge that I have something with me which can maybe help me if I'm in trouble, that helps to boost my confidence. And hopefully I'm not walking through the world with the energy of victim, but with the energy of the warrior, the energy of the queen.
Take care of yourself.
At the toilet paper section, I already mentioned that try to kind of hide your toilet paper and maybe dig a little bit of hole. And maybe you ask that, what's done with my hands or what? Well, this is why I always have a small spoon with me, which is good to create these little holes, and is really useful, the other part of the spoon, that if you want you can open a bottle with it. Or at the end of the day, if you are eating something a little bit softer, you don't need a knife, you can use your spoon instead of knife. It's the best tool if you want to eat avocado. Or if you want to eat something super unhealthy, then buy your instant soup in the shop. In Mexico, normally they have hot water for coffee drinkers, and you buy your instant soup, put the hot water on it and wait, and after, without your spoon, you are in trouble. So if you have a little spoon, you can enjoy your super unhealthy and super delicious instant soup. The next one is super easy and self-explanatory, little locks. 90% of the places you cannot buy locks. In some hostels, yes, at the reception you can buy it for cheap as well. So again, it depends, trust your luck. Or maybe when you book your place, you can ask that, are you selling locks? And if not, then you can take yours. And actually it can be really handy to lock your baggage.
All my diamonds are valuable.
At the really beginning of my travel journey, someone gave me just a little ball of string, and I was thinking what to do with this. And just because I love the color, I kept it in my bag, and I thought, maybe one day I can give it to someone. And what happened? Well, I went to a place where there was nothing in the room, simply a bed, nothing else. But I washed my clothes and I had no space to dry my clothes. But I had the string with me. So I created a clothes line and just hang my clothes and they could dry. Because there is always a window sill or the handle of the door. You can always find things you can attach to string to it and voila, you're already safe. The strings can be useful when your bag is broken, when you have some clothes which are broken. Again, it's a very useful tool to repair them very quickly, just SOS. And one more very important to use the strings, mainly if you, for example, coming to Costa Rica is vital. Have your plastic bag and have your string because you will be in a constant fight with the ants. So if you leave any food outside on the surface, they will come, and I'm not joking, in a minute, tons and tons of ants are present and they just enjoy your food because they think this is their food.
That is mine!
So what you can do, grab the plastic bag, put all of your stuff in it and just hang somewhere and you are safe. And your food as well. And most of the time I have a towel with me, the type which dries very quickly, because, well, not every place provides towel. Most of the places, yes, but not all of the places. For me, is most of the time is useful as, for example, it's cold on the bus, I put it on my shoulder, or I can place in my neck if it's too cold and all of my warm stuff is not enough. Last time when I was using it, I used basically as a yoga mat or something underneath my body because I felt, oh my god, I need to move my body a little bit. And because the floor itself was super cold, I thought it's better if I keep something underneath me. And well, at the end of the day, I didn't become a human broom in the hostel. Or if you don't have your scarf or your jumper with you, but you want to sleep on the bus, for example, you can use this towel as your pillow, and between your head and the window it can be a little bit of softness, so you are not just knocking your head into the window as you are traveling, which is honestly after a couple of hours is super uncomfortable and very annoying. The next one is completely new. I started to recently have some match or lighter with me because in many places lots of time we have electricity shortage. At least you can find your phone very quickly, which you can use as your torch. And many places they are in the hostels, there are amazing kitchens, you can cook, but there is nothing to light up the gas. So if you don't have your lighter or your match, you are in trouble. It can be a really good socializing tool as well, because lots of smokers, they just have no idea where is their lighter and they just always ask,
"Excuse me, do you have a lighter?"
And well, if I have, I can share and we can start to chat if you feel this is the person you want to chat with. The other vital tool for me is my flip-flop. Years and years ago, I bumped into a flip-flop seller on the airport, which was a really fancy airport, so I thought, I'm sure these flip-flops are very expensive. And interestingly, they wasn't expensive, but they've been very lightweight and they've been super comfortable because lots of flip-flop is made from plastic, which means they are a little bit heavy and they are super slippery. But this one is kind of plastic and foam. I'm not pretty sure what is this material. It's made for surfers. It's called Reef. Yes, this is a kind of advertisement. I have to admit they deserve to get advertised and to get known, because this is the best flip-flop ever. So actually since then I never ever bought different kind of flip-flops. Well, for sure that in this lifetime I won't be a surfer, but at least I have a surfer flip-flop. But at least I have a surfer flip-flop. But at least I have a surfer flip-flop. That was difficult. Flip-flop can be really useful to taking a shower if you're taking a shower in a place which is a little bit like just to make sure you coming out from the shower cleaner than you went in. As I already mentioned, I'm a big fan of flip-flops, so I don't really like shoes and all of these walking boots and whatever. And if you ask, what's then if it's raining? Well, my foot get wet, but your foot, trust me, in your most amazing shoes, that will get wet as well. But my advantage is, in my flip-flop, if there is a little bit of water puddle, or sometimes a big one, I don't mind to walk through because my feet are already wet, so for me it doesn't matter. But in your shoes you will think, how to walk through, not to get into the water. Third, if there is no more rain, if there is no more wet, then my feet will be dry in 5 seconds. But your feet will be wet for 3 more days because your shoes will dry forever. Myself personally, I just hate to be wet clothes and shoes, so I prefer to be completely wet and cold and everything for a while, but after I'm dry because my flip-flop has the best air conditioning and drying system. Not even talking about that it's super practical, you don't need to put your feet into the shoes and tie and everything, you just put your feet in and out and done. I love to walk on the beach in the sand, close to the water, where it's a little bit cooler, but we have to face the fact that from the water you need to go to the main road or your hotel or wherever, and yes, you will find the sand so freaking hot that you will pray for your flip-flop. And on the opposite side of the heat, yes, you can say, yes, but your feet can be very cold in the night. Yes, but I have socks. And yes, I'm wearing my flip-flops on the socks. And you are right, it's not sexy. You are right, it looks like weird. It's not beautiful. But honestly, who cares?
I do not care.
Though I have a surprise for you. When I was searching pictures for this part of the video, I found flip-flop socks. Can you imagine? Other people already discovered that flip-flops and socks are amazing companion to each other. And now you can buy flip-flop socks. So here we are. And it can be sexy and it can be beautiful. The next one is super easy, super short, super teeny tiny thread and needle. That's it. There is always something broken, even your bag, even your clothes, even your neighbor's bag or neighbor clothes. You will definitely need thread and needle. You don't need to take your sewing kit. No, just one thread, one needle, nothing else. Little, light, neat. And the last two advices, well, they are kind of self-complementary. One is a universal travel adapter. I like this one because it doesn't matter which country you are going. There is different kind of endings, and you see I'm just changing this one, and immediately you can go to another country, or you can go to another country and you are safe. It has 3 holes on it where you can attach your phones, your chargers, etc, etc. The next one is a power bank to charge your phone, your devices, or whatever you have with you. And the part which is a little bit of a bonus, but I never take with me. If you are still with me, thank you very much. Now I share with you the 3 things which I think is really just a waste of space and time. Normally I don't take too much toiletries with me because yeah, it happened back in time that I had all of my shampoos and my creams and my body lotions and everything, and I found a 5-kilogram bag with me, and honestly you just always use a little bit, so you don't need too much. If I really don't know where I'm going and what to expect, I have a little bit of shampoo with me, and that's it. Of course, if I have a special face cream, then I take it with me, but I'm really minimalistic. I take just a shampoo because I'm happy to wash my body with my shampoo, but I'm not happy to wash my hair with my body wash. So that's the reason I have a shampoo instead of the body wash. But just a little one, because first thing, you can buy everywhere. As I mentioned at the really beginning of the video, I realized that people in other parts of the world, they are cleaning themselves as well, which means they have shops where you can buy all of the products. Surprise, surprise. Yes, and most of the time you can buy super cheap products, and when you finished your journey, you just leave in the place, so that's fine. Actually, lots of people doing exactly the same. They just leave their stuff behind when they finish their trip, which means honestly 90% of my trips there was always something I could use in the shower, so I didn't even have to buy. But I think it's nice if sometimes you're using others' leftover, and sometimes you are the person who leaves some leftover and other people can be happy. The second thing I never ever take with me is a guidebook. I think is a waste of time and kilograms, because when you go to a place, there is always a guidebook. You can always find other people's leftover guidebook if you don't have time to read anything or do anything else, just read the guidebook. Second reason, go to a place, meet people, talk to people, ask questions. And trust me, they will tell you the most amazing restaurants, they will tell you the most amazing, most interesting places to visit, though a guidebook maybe is 10 years old and the place doesn't even exist anymore. And really, it's just my personal experience. When at the really beginning, I had my first guidebook, my first trip, and I was reading the guidebook and it was like Japanese, because nothing really, I couldn't connect with what I was reading, and it went in and out, so the information didn't really stick. And even I found some places, it looks interesting. When I was there in the particular place, the local people said, no, it's not interesting at all. So you can go and watch and have a look, but it's nothing. For me, in my whole life, but not just in traveling, but in general, talking to people, having connection, having the information from the local source, the real source, for me, it always works much better than any guidebook. And the final piece, this neck thingy, you know, what people carry, this C-shaped thingy, and they carry on their bag and they put in the neck and they sleep with it. Ah yes, it's called travel pillow. Look, I show you something mind-blowing. This is my jumper. Nice, is one thing. I just create this noodle from my jumper. Param! My travel pillow is ready. And if I'm cold and if I finish sleeping, I have my jumper on me. Super easy. And I don't have to carry this weird thing, which really probably sometimes you're just struggling where to keep it, and thereby you need your string to attach your sleeping pillow or travel pillow to your bag, because otherwise you just lose it. So it's just a hassle. So that was it for today. If you found it useful, feel free to like or subscribe, and don't forget, maybe in the future I will bring a little bit longer list with another video, so if you don't want to miss it, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Until, hasta luego!